In the New Testament, we see Jesus and the apostles spending significant amounts of their time and energy raising up leaders that would do the work alongside them and carry the work far beyond themselves. So the question is, how do we identify which leaders to invest time with? We're going to look at identifying your 139. Jesus spent a lot of time with different groups of people. The 5,000 that he fed, the 4,000 he fed, the 500 he was with after his resurrection, then 120 is another group he was with after his resurrection. In Luke chapter 10 and Matthew 10, he sent out 70 to go village to pray, heal the sick, and preach the gospel. But he also selected 12 with prayer and fasting, so that they could be with him and so that they could be sent out to preach in Mark chapter 1. But it was the three who really got to see some of the most amazing things, like on the Mount of Transfiguration, or seeing the synagogue leader's daughter raised. So the question is, of all these groups, where did Jesus invest most of his time? Did he do it with the crowds, or did he do it with few people? I'm sure we all agree that Jesus was with the 3 and 12 the most. So he spent most of his time with less people. Was this because Jesus did not love the 5,000, 4,000 and 500? Not at all. It was because through them he could reach more people. In fact, this is how Jesus put it in John chapter 14 verse 12. He said, "You, speaking to the 12 and 3, you will see greater things than me." And that's what we see happen in the book of Acts. Through the 12, many come to faith. How do we apply this principle practically speaking? Jesus spent time with leaders who were faithful to the field. They went out and did what they were taught to do, and they had the heart to reach the lost. They spent time with lost people, leading them to Jesus, discipling them, and starting churches among them. Jesus spent time with people who were available for coaching. Jesus said, "Follow me and I will make you fishers of men." And these leaders dropped everything and made time for Jesus. He spent time with people who were teachable and willing to teach others. And he taught them to teach others. So we need to do the same thing. We need to identify leaders who are FAT, fat. And one way to do this is to just write down the names of leaders. And many times we have many more than we're trying to evaluate. How do I spend time with all these people in a way that they can multiply to reach the lost people? Because like Jesus, we love lost people and we want to reach them. So we want to focus on few. And so we can evaluate saying, well, Bob, he's very faithful, but maybe he's not available, he's very busy, but he's very teachable. And Mary, she is faithful, she's available and teachable. Joe is not faithful, but he's available and teachable. And then Matt is faithful, but not very available, not very teachable. So we can say, okay, of these leaders, who do we need to start making sure we get time with? Well, we would say it is definitely Mary, and then maybe Joe. But if we have other leaders that are demonstrating more FAT, then we would spend time with leaders that way. Once we identify faithful, available, and teachable people to invest time, we can draw a diagram like this, a 139 diagram, where we draw ourselves, and then I put Mary here because she is faithful, available, and teachable, and then I've got Joe here, and I'm not sure who else I need to be spending time with, yet I'm gonna keep looking. So this is my 3, and then I want to help coach them to invest heavily in 3 themselves, their 3. So the question is, who are your 3 and who are your 3's 3? Because through the few, we can reach many. God bless you.